Now to our exclusive coverage of the crisis in Puerto Rico. You saw the earthquake devastation up close during our series of live reports, and this week we're going to continue to share the impact all of this is having on Connecticut.
Tonight, Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Matthew Campbell is introducing everyone to the refugees fleeing the disaster and the Connecticut cities where they're stepping in to help them out.
When natural disasters strike, we usually see schools turn into shelters, but here in Guanica, the schools were destroyed. This one here is set to be demolished in 2 weeks, leaving hundreds of students with nowhere to learn and in a lot of cases, nowhere to live. And now we're seeing cities like Hartford and Waterbury step in.
Se rajó algunas partes y fue algo feo.
When it was the big earthquake, my house shook. We all ran outside. The house was cracked. It was very scary and very bad.
In January, Jose Garcia was one of those who lost nearly everything during the 6.4 magnitude earthquake that shook southern Puerto Rico. His home in Guanica damaged, his school gone.
I feel bad because there's people over there that are suffering.
When Eyewitness News surveyed the damage, we learned the schools that are safe to enter are being used as shelters, like this high school in Ponce. Others can't be salvaged. Going into this school in Guanica would be too dangerous, so only Drone 3 could deliver these vantage points, revealing the extent of the rebuilding efforts that will need to happen in Puerto Rico. It could take years.
Their houses are destroyed. They have nothing.
So with an unsafe home and no school, hundreds of students are being taught in tents. Others, like Jose, were lucky enough to have relatives in Connecticut.
When they saw everything that was happening, they sent for us as soon as possible.
Jose's brother and sister are trying to adjust in Waterbury, but it's not easy. There's no dedicated agriculture classes like they had back home, and they had to leave their mother and other sister behind. They talk every day.
She's always looking for food, trying to find food and stuff. There's really nothing much over there.
We're there for them. We care for them. We're family here.
Natalie Rosado from the Hispanic Coalition in Waterbury knows being thrown into the cold from a year-round tropical climate is hard. There are also the language barriers and the issue of grades being transferred.
Starting over at a new place, new language, new everything.
Rosado says so far, Waterbury has assisted more than 200 people. Hartford is helping 70 students too.
We provide uniforms and clothing, supplies, not only for the student, but also for the family as well.
Jose longs to go back home so he can be reunited with his mother and get back on his agricultural path, but knows Waterbury is what's best, at least for now.
It's my mother, and like any other child, I would love to be with my mother. But at least here, there's no earthquakes.
Now, the relief effort in Waterbury is getting its name out there to the point where people with no ties to Connecticut are reaching out. If you'd like to help, there's a link to the Hispanic Coalition on the Channel 3 app. That's the latest live here in the control room tonight. Matthew Campbell, Channel 3 News.